guys, welcome back to another video. So recently I've been invited to be part of my friend's bridal party, which is like a really great honor, and she's hosting an event over the weekend. She's having her bridal shower and her theme is tea party, Bridgerton, mostly like a tea party, you know, with the whole floral, almost like cottagecore, old England, 18th century, you know, very floral, very feminine type of idea. And as I was going about my week, I was thinking, like, what would someone wear to a tea party? What are some like tea party appropriate fragrances, or what are fragrances that make you think of a tea party? And what would match that entire aesthetic? Mostly because I'm trying to think of what in the world do I wear for her bridal shower. And I don't know for a lot of other people, but for me, I consider a perfume as part of my wardrobe as well. You know, the same way like accessories. You have your earrings, your rings, necklaces. I consider perfume as also a part of my wardrobe. So what would match like that whole, you know, hyper feminine, floral, soft girl, tea party aesthetic? What are some perfumes that would match that? Now, if you've been watching, I'm a big floral fan. So clearly, like, I would have perfumes that could match that vibe. And I thought that this would be like an easy pick for me because I have so many florals, but now I'm in that position where I have so many florals and I have so many great ones that I think could work with that whole aesthetic that I have no idea what I could wear. You know, it's like that a whole problem of choice where you have too many options and now you're stuck and you're like, crap, what do I wear? But I thought I'd share some of my musings with you. This is going to be a pretty like informal style video. I'm just listing off ideas of what someone could possibly wear to a tea party based off of my collection. So really it's like I'm just narrowing down some ideas of what I could wear for her bridal shower, and what would match that aesthetic. So looking like, clearly I was going to go based off of my August tray, and my first pick would have been Peony and Peppercorn by Banana Republic, simply because this is such a fresh, rosy, peony floral. It's very clean, almost soapy. It smells like a really nice rose soap or shampoo. A little fruity in the opening. I think there's like lemon or bergamot. There's that peppercorn in the opening, which gives it more like a crispness. And I get more rose than peony, but it is a very sweet floral aquatic scent. And I think this would be great for wearing to a tea party event. But then my head, you know, I'm thinking, well, why just settle for peony and peppercorn? You've got so many other florals to try. So then, not knocking on peony and peppercorn at all. I think it's a beautiful fragrance and can easily wear beautifully during a tea party. It's very feminine. It's very clean, very elegant smelling. So then I went to another option based on my August tray, which I'm currently working through. So I thought, well, you know what? If I'm going to go for a clean, feminine vibe, especially it being floral, why not try my Tocca fragrance? And for the month of August, I'm wearing Giulietta by Tocca, which is a very beautiful, fruity, musky floral scent. This one has notes of green apple in the opening and some florals. I believe it's white florals. I'm still getting to know this fragrance, but it's absolutely lovely. It's a beautiful fragrance. It smells very luxurious to me. Like, this is what I would imagine in a girl wearing like those beautiful green floral dresses, you know? It is green, it's very clean, it's still very feminine on top of that. And I feel like the way that a lot of fragrances present themselves would match that old English Bridgerton tea party in the garden style. And then that's where my squirrel brain started to diverge, because I thought, well, if I'm going to pick a toka fragrance, I have so many other options of toka fragrances, such as Toca Bianca, which I have described in the past as a beautiful rose fragrance. And I had described this before as you're drinking like a lemon tea, a sweet lemon tea in a rose garden. And if that does not describe a tea party, I don't know what doesn't. So this is also another valid option to pick to wear to a tea party. I think honestly, really, any toka fragrance would match. I would even add to that little bundle Toca Florence. Now this one is actually a repurchase. I had Florence in the past, finished that. It was also a little splash bottle. I finished that one in the past, and now I have it again. This is a gardenia bomb, so this would definitely match that elegant floral motif. Like I said, I just smell a lot of gardenia in this fragrance. It's almost very, very heady. Yeah, it's like a very obnoxiously white floral fragrance, but it's absolutely beautiful. Now, the thing with a lot of toka fragrances, though, as beautiful as they are, they don't have the best longevity. So I wasn't sure if maybe they might be the best option when it comes to an event like the bridal shower, because I do want to make sure that it lasts. Like I don't want it to be overpowering, considering it's a bridal shower, it's about your bride. I don't want it to be an overpowering scent, but I do want it to last for however long the event would be. So maybe my Banana Republic and Toka fragrances might not be my first pick. So then I started looking more into my collection. And I thought, okay, what other fragrances do I have that could fit that whole entire tea party aesthetic, tea party vibes? And I picked another really good one, which I thought would be Chloe. This is the Eau Naturelle, Eau de Parfum. And this is another very green floral scent. This makes me think of fresh cut roses. This is a natural perfume, so it derives more from a natural rose rather than a synthetic rose. It also leans very, very soapy. So it really smells like you've just stepped out of a bath made with the most natural rose oils and rose petals all around you. And it's absolutely beautiful. And I think this would also wear nicely at a tea party. Plus, knowing Chloe fragrances, they tend to last longer on me, so this could be another valid option. Now, these fragrances, they tend to lean towards the safer side. They're very clean, they're very green, they're very aquatic leaning. And then I thought, well, what about some variety? Like, what's another option of florals that I could wear? And another one that I saw that piqued my interest would be Coach. This is the Wild Rose Flanker. And this is a very jammy rose with a very ambery dry down. This is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. I can't smell it through the lid. Oh, actually, I can. It is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance, but my only qualm with this one, as I was looking at it and thinking of it as an option, is that I find that this Doesn't wear well during the summer, for me at least. And it's been hot and humid where I'm at. So I wasn't sure if wild rose would be the best option, but it is a good option nonetheless. Like I said, this is a very jammy, sweet, ambery rose. It has a little bit of a sour opening from the red currant, and a beautiful ambery ambroxan dry down. So it kind of reminds me of cloud in a way, but really nice fragrance, really feminine. And I feel like this could also work well for a tea party. Branching off from that fragrance and then going maybe towards a more sweeter option, I also thought that Mon Paris by YSL would also be a really, really beautiful option for a tea party. This one is like candy sweet with some patchouli in the dry down. So this is one of those fruit chouly style perfumes. I don't think this necessarily reminds me of a very popular fruit chouly, La Vie est Belle. It doesn't really remind me of that one. This one makes me think more of like raspberry candy with some patchouli in the dry down. It's not a bad fragrance at all. I think this wears well year round, to be honest. I need to get myself a little more acquainted with it. I've only worn it a few times. But I think that this is such a lovely, easy, girly scent to wear. And it really would match like, that tea party vibe. I can easily see anyone wearing this. And, just a bunch of girls just having a good time. So while I have more of a fruit chouly and sweet fragrance option, another option that I thought would wear very well during this time and would reflect nicely for a tea party and that whole floral aesthetic is Jimmy Choo Floral. Now this one I find leans more fruity than floral, but it's still a lovely scent. This is nectarines, and I think pears with some floral. I really do not get much floral. I think this is a beautiful fruity, fun, flirty fragrance. Try saying that like 5 times fast. But I think this would be so cute for a tea party. And also I think this color, like this little mint green color, is so springtime, so elegant. And I think like I could easily see myself picking something like this to reach for when going to a tea party or a bridal shower themed tea party. A very elegant perfume, at least I consider this to be a very elegant perfume. And I started off a little rocky with this one. This one is Dolce by Dolce & Gabbana. Now, I originally purchased a Dolce for my sister because she really enjoyed the scent. Come to find out that she prefers Dolce Garden, which is like a very coconutty floral. This one is more of a watery, I wouldn't say it's aquatic, but it's definitely more of a watery floral, white floral scent. This has a beautiful note of neroli and water lilies, which is so lovely. And I think this would honestly work perfectly in the summertime. Like in the summertime heat. This would also be a very strong pick for what I would consider for a tea party. Honestly, just the whole aesthetic of it matches that idea that I have in my head and matches my friend's whole aesthetic that she's going for. So this would honestly be a really, really viable option. Decent longevity. It's not really a loud projecting scent, so I think this would wear nicely in an event. And I think it does leave a nice little scent bubble around you that people would still notice that you smell nice. Going up in elegance, I think this next perfume is one of what I consider one of the most elegant smelling fragrances to me. The next one that I wanted to share is Pure Poison by Dior. And this is such a beautiful, beautiful white floral. I believe it's jasmine. That's the predominant note in this fragrance, and it is a jasmine balm. Now, this is very clean, almost like very crisp jasmine. I will say, like, it almost comes across as a little sharp to the nose. It's so clean smelling, but this leaves such a beautiful trail around you. As you can see, I've made a bit of a dent in it. Not too much though, because I found like this fragrance can be a little much if you put too much on. A little goes a long way with Pure Poison. Too much and that jasmine does get heady and will give you a headache. Gives me a headache at least. But it's a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. This one was a gift from my mom. Or at least I helped myself in my mom's closet and she let me have it. But I absolutely love this fragrance. And I think it wears beautifully in the summertime, considering with how heavy of a jasmine scent this is. It wears really, really nice in the heat. And I think this would also be a really, really great option to wear to a tea party. It's feminine, it's clean, it's floral. It's very, very elegant. And I don't know, something about like this little apple shape, because I know the whole entire Poison line, they have like this apple shape bottle. It gives me like fairy tale vibes, you know? It gives me like almost fairy tale princess style vibes, and I think this would work amazing. I think this matches that whole aesthetic really nicely too. So while a lot of these lean towards, you know, floral and very aquatic, fresh cleaning, I thought of, well, what are some like more powdery options, because I was thinking of like a ladies powder room. I love those makeup style smelling fragrances. Some powdery scents I don't jive well with because some of them can be a little much for me, and especially during the summertime. But I thought it's good to have some options. So one of my favorite powdery iris scents is Flower Bomb Dew by Victor and Rolf. And this smells like flower bomb, but it has more iris in it. So it's a very powdery, sweet, slightly vanillic fragrance. It honestly makes me think of makeup, like a really nice cream powder, or a cream blush, or like facial powder, or even like lipstick. And I know it's that iris note that gives it that type of vibe. Now, I don't know if this, smelling it again, like I don't know if this matches fairy tale, Bridgerton, historical fantasy type of aesthetic, but it certainly gives me ladies in a powder room getting ready, getting all dolled up for a bridal shower. You know, it does give me that type. It's very, very feminine, very, very pretty, very powdery. And I honestly, it's one of my favorite flower. I love the Flower Bomb DNA, so I'm heavily biased towards it. Leaning towards another powdery makeup style iris rose fragrance is Miss Dior, the Eau de Parfum. Now, I'm going back and forth with Miss Dior. I really am. Sometimes I like it. Sometimes I don't drive well with it. Smelling it out the bottle, I keep thinking like it smells really nice, but then it does something funny. So with that said, I still want to give this one a try and just still keep it as an option on the back burner. This is another iris rose, powdery vanilla type of floral fragrance. It's very, very pretty. It's very, and I think that whole Miss Dior line and that whole Dior aesthetic doesn't necessarily scream Bridgerton tea party, but it does scream hyper feminine, and I'm all for it. That being said, this might not be my first option for a tea party bridal shower, but it's still an option nonetheless. I hope one day, like I warm up to Miss Dior Eau de Parfum, I'm still going back and forth with her. Another powdery floral scent that I think could probably work well for a tea party is Twilly de Mes. And this one, not the Eau Poivre, this one is a ginger and jasmine fragrance. It opens up with ginger, so it's kind of spicy. It has a powdery rose in the dry down. I apologize, not rose. This one has a jasmine note. Although something is very powdery in this that I can't put my finger on. It's been a while since I've worn Twilly, and I normally reach for Twilly during the fall. Just because, like I said, certain powdery notes I don't necessarily like to wear during the summertime. But this also reminds me of women's like powder rooms. It makes me think of makeup. It makes me think of a woman getting dolled up. This fragrance is quite, quirky like the bottle, yet still being very, very elegant. Twilly, I have such a soft spot for Twilly. I really do love this fragrance. Even though I only really like it during a certain season to wear. But I think, for the person that can rock Twilly year round, if you're the type of person who can rock Twilly year round, then you could certainly rock it during a tea party. And honestly, you could wear any and whatever fragrance you want to a party. This is just for the sake of a video and just sharing my musings and my thoughts. And last but not least, I thought I'd throw in one of my all-time favorite scents. This is Gucci Bloom, and I feel like this fragrance is the epitome of feminine florals. This is clean, green, jasmine, and tuberose, and a honeysuckle note. This is absolutely lovely. This can wear in heat, in the spring, in the fall, probably even in the winter time. I really, really love Bloom, and I think this would probably be great in a tea party, in a bridal shower tea party. I think that this is an easy reach, and I probably would pick this one. Would also be one of my top contenders for my top picks. Which actually, that brings me to this portion. I should probably share my top picks. If I could choose like my top 3 for the selection that I have here, I would say my top 3 would probably be Giulietta, simply because this is such a luxurious fragrance, and I like I said, I think the Tocca perfumes match that whole aesthetic and vibe that my friend is going for. So Giulietta would be one option. Another option would probably be Dolce by Dolce & Gabbana, simply because of that beautiful water lily and neroli note. Those would be probably my 2 top picks. And maybe Gucci Bloom. Right? So that would be like my top 3 if I had to choose fragrances for a tea party. But that's just for me. Everyone is different, Honestly, out of any of my picks here, what do you guys think would be a great option to wear to a tea party? Honestly, based on your collection or your favorite fragrances, what would you wear to a bridal shower tea party? Talk to me in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe if you want to. I always appreciate it. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.